What is up, everyone? Tony here, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Sony's E3 2018 press conference. What showed up, what didn't show up, and just give my overall impressions on their showcase. We knew going into the show that Sony was going to be focusing on 4 first-party exclusives in particular, with maybe some additional third-party announcements here and there. And they definitely delivered on that promise. The funny thing is, though, the EA, Ubisoft, Square, Bethesda, and yes, even Microsoft press conferences all acted as low-key PS4 advertisements, since so many of the big games shown at those conferences were PS4 games. So in the end, I think it was pretty smart of Sony to really focus on giving us extended looks at 4 of their big exclusives, which were obviously games you were not going to see anywhere else. Let's get started with arguably the game of the show in The Last of Us Part 2. As I expected from my preview video, visually the game just looks incredible. I pretty much had my jaw dropped watching this entire gameplay demo. To me, this is the best looking game I've ever seen, and Naughty Dog continues to be able to push PlayStation hardware harder than just about anyone else. Like, this just looks nuts. Unfortunately, we still didn't get a release date for the game, which leads me to believe we may be waiting until 2020 for Last of Us 2. Also, it wouldn't surprise me at all if the game gets too ambitious for the PS4 and ends up having a cross-gen release when it is finally good to go. Until then, I think I'm just gonna watch this gameplay footage again and again. It looks so good! Next up was Sucker Punch and Ghosts of Tsushima. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly? Tsushima? Which also had a full gameplay demonstration at the show. This was something that was lacking at Microsoft's press conference for me. That show had a lot of pretty trailers, but very little actual gameplay for games I'm really interested in. In that sense, Sony nailed it. This is definitely my preferred presentation style of new upcoming games. That being said, Tsushima actually wasn't one of the games really on my radar going into the show. I just haven't really been interested much in like Sucker Punch's titles in the past, but that very well may change here because Ghosts of Tsushima looked absolutely incredible in action. Like, they actually managed to follow The Last of Us 2 visually. That's how good this game looked. The setting is just gorgeous, and the gameplay itself looks really solid as well. So there's another Sony exclusive game on my radar. It never ceases to amaze me just how well Sony presents their exclusives. Even the ones I have little interest in somehow manage to catch my interest in the end. Like The Last of Us 2 though, no release date was announced for the game, so I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up coming in 2020. Up next, however, was my most anticipated game of the show, and my god, did it not disappoint. The Resident Evil 2 remake was finally revealed at Sony's E3 press conference and will be released on January 25th, 2019. It was like a dream come true seeing the RCPD building reborn 20 years later. The game runs on the incredible RE engine and uses an over-the-shoulder perspective similar to Resident Evil 4. This is everything I ever wanted out of an RE2 remake, and I was basically glued to Twitch watching every possible gameplay demo of the game. It completely nails the feel of the original Resident Evil 2, while also bringing it to the modern day with some horrifying new changes and impeccable art direction. It's basically the same way I felt when I saw the original remake for the first time. They're doing Resident Evil 2 justice here, and after seeing just how much love has gone into this remake during E3 week, I cannot be more excited to get my hands on it. The bangers kept coming with Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding. In classic Kojima fashion, this trailer included both in-engine cutscene footage interspliced with actual gameplay from the game. The art direction here is just top notch, and the world just looks cool to explore. I definitely had some heavy MGS5 vibes watching this footage from the game, and to me, that's a very good thing. The trippy visuals are a staple of Kojima at this point, and once again, Death Stranding delivered on that front as well. As has been the pattern so far with the show though, no release date provided. This was originally supposed to come out in 2018, and now it's looking more like a 2020 release. That sucks, but I say don't rush Kojima. Let the man take the time he needs to put out yet another masterpiece. Luckily, not everything at the show is like super far off. Sony finished strong with Spider-Man, the game we know the most about since it's slated for a September 2018 release. But at E3, we were shown an entirely new area, and what a shock, it looked great. I was already sold on this game, but E3 just reaffirmed everything I want out of it, like a fully realized New York City open world that I could swing around freely in, explore, do random dumb side stuff, but then there's also like a deep, mission-based single-player campaign that will feature a variety of completely different environments. I cannot wait for this game. So overall, I thought Sony knocked it out of the park this E3. Like I said earlier, this is just my preferred method of presenting games at E3. I need that gameplay footage to really feel the hype. A CG trailer of something that's like a known quantity just doesn't really do it for me these days. Just watching The Last of Us 2 in action for about 10 minutes straight was a moment I thought couldn't be topped. And then these bastards, they dropped the RE2 remake trailer and I was done. For me, Sony wins this E3. They could have done more though, not gonna lie. I was fully expecting to see Square Enix's Avengers project at the Sony press conference, and I was pretty disappointed when it was nowhere to be found. Also, what about Rocksteady's new project? Those seem to be the two biggest no-shows of E3 2018 for most people, myself included. But luckily, Sony more than made up for it, in my opinion, with 4 awesome, long-form showcases of their Big 4 exclusive titles, as well as the announcement of my game of the show, Resident Evil 2 Remake. Sony is just on fire. Now, stop being jerks and let the people play cross-platform multiplayer. Seriously, what are you doing? Stop. Stop this. It's time to stop. So that's about it for today. Another fuego showing from Sony at E3. Next up, I'll be talking about Nintendo. Oh boy, I have a lot to say on that one. Anyways, if you liked the video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more cool E3 videos like this. Thanks again so much for watching, everyone, and take care. RE2 Remake, hi!